radio program host. And she's the CEO of her own company named New Design for Living. That company helps folks find the right perspective for themselves. And here to tell us more about her work and about how it applies to us and also Adam, I give you Camille Conte. Thank you.
You know, Joni Mitchell has a song, "You Don't Know What You Have Till It's Gone." And the good news is we don't have to wait till she's gone because she's right here, right now. I want to take a moment and acknowledge Skookums. And before you clap, what I want us to take in for a moment is, first of all, this woman is a renowned, lifelong harpist. And she puts her harp in a bag and puts the bag in a car and comes over to the Adam Center and takes the harp out of the car and brings it into this room and takes it out of the bag and sets herself up. And she gifts us with this extraordinary gift and talent just from her own heart. And then she puts it back into that bag, puts it back into her car, goes home, takes it out of the car, brings it into the house. And so let's not allow ourselves to lose sight of the gifts that make a community, let alone a strong community, like Skookums offers us every single Sunday, or at the very most, the Sundays when she's here. So I really wanted to make sure that we had this moment to acknowledge the beauty. I'm not sure there's another place right now on a Sunday morning that's got a harpist, maybe, but we might be the only one, and that makes this a very special community. And now you can give it up for Skookums. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. The blender of change. Wow. I might steal that. I will give you credit, though. That's a good one. So today I want to talk about a lot of different things because there's a lot of different things going on to this community right here and right now. But it's applicable to everything that we're all going through, and that is change. And in my change program, we talk about the different types of change, and I want to talk about the change that's happening to the Adam Center. And that is change that is being imposed upon you. The landlord said, "We're selling the building and you have to leave." That's very different than change that you initiate. And yet this moment has both. It has change that's being imposed upon your community and how you're all dealing with that. And it's also an opportunity to become super clear about the change that you want to initiate in the midst of change being imposed upon you. So we can't change being imposed upon us. The building is being sold. But what, of course, you can do is be mindful of how you're dealing with that change. Now, in my change program, we spend some time, because you have to, going back and taking a look at the change that you dealt with as a kid, because that will affect how you experience change, whether you're initiating it or trying to initiate it or having it be imposed upon you. Because we have these filters. And one of the big moments in the change program is when we talk about that change in and of itself is neutral. So for example, you're driving and you get a flat tire. Now, if you're in a victim consciousness, whether you're mindful of it, and usually you're not, but you have a program that says things happen to me, then you're going to take the neutral experience of a tire blowing as something that's happening to you. And the mind kicks in with that narrative that it has. Why do these things always happen to me? I can't believe this thing happens to me. And so that's a filter. And we all have filters. And where we are right now is this amazing, rapid, accelerated moment of dissolving our filters so that we can be as clean and as available to what is happening without the influence of the past. And so in that moment, if you've done your work, and I know most of us have in this room, what happens is, I have a flat tire. Let me call AAA. Who am I going to call? It's a whole different approach to the challenge of having a tire blow than perhaps the filter of, why is this always happening to me? And so with regards to the Adam Center, the last month, these last weeks of March, I've been involved with them because I was called by Spirit, by the source of my understanding, to be of service to this community in transition. In the community I used to be involved in, we went through this 3 times. So I have a little background on what it does to a community when change is imposed upon you, which is what is happening right now. And so during this experience of meeting with the board and those who were invited in on these sessions, which came after you all gave, so you had these beautiful community input meetings. They took that information, it's on the wall, and then we got into a slightly smaller group with everybody pretty much representing the larger group so we could do some different kind of work. And in that time, we've done a mission statement and a vision statement. We've talked about the name and the tagline and rebranding so as to better prepare the Adam Center for the opportunities that it has next. And in that process, I got to see what I always see, even with myself, when it comes to change. Resistance, fear, uncertainty, confusion, chaos, all these things that I say in the old design model were positioned in a way that is something we should avoid. Avoid confusion, avoid uncertainty, get through it as fast as you can. Because in the old design model, those human experiences, those basic ingredients of change, are seen as a negative. But in the new design model, we have a completely different experience. We know that change, confusion, uncertainty, and chaos are all normal ingredients of change. And we change our definition of those human experiences so that we can work with them and not have a relationship with them as if there's something against us. All of those situations offer us tremendous information. If you're confused, you either have too much information or maybe not enough information. If you are experiencing chaos, you're in a situation, once again, where you are inside perhaps a chrysalis, you're in a cocoon, you're in a transitional period where the chaos theory is completely appropriate. And uncertainty, my favorite. You leave one job in the old design model, you better get one right away. You leave a relationship, you better get one right away. Why? Because the mind doesn't like uncertainty. Why? Because the mind needs to know. That's why change is so hard for us. The mind goes, yeah, I'll give you a green light, but I need to see the data and the facts and the proof that this is going to work. Well, that's not how change works. The heart, meanwhile, goes, change? How does this feel? Well, this feels really good. Let's go towards that. Oh, not sure this feels so good. Maybe that's not what's in our highest and best interest. So we move from the mind to the heart. And this is the moment that the Adam Center is in right now. So I've been definitely pushing the board out of their comfort zone because it's important for the leaders of an organization that's going through change to be challenged and to have their consciousness stretched beyond their own discomfort. And so what I was able to do, and I'm honored by the sacred experience of holding space while people were in the discomfort. It's not something that we have a lot of practice in, but we're getting that practice right now. The outer world of our lives is definitely in a dismantling moment. And it's really causing a lot of internal complications in varying degrees. For some, not at all. For some, incapacitated. And most of us, somewhere in between. Because why? We're experiencing change being imposed upon us. Whether you're in alignment with the change and think it's great or not is not quite relevant to the truth that change is being imposed upon us. So what are we going to do? How are we going to be? Who's going to be running the show? The mind that can only use the past as a reference point, or the heart that can feel into what you can't see? How are we doing so far? Everybody breathing? Exhaling, let it out, shake your shoulders. This is big stuff, but we're in the rapids right now. We're in the rapids, and we can do this. We've been training ourselves our whole lives for this. As I've said many times that I've stood here, you can't go through 30 years of the self-help movement and then be shocked by this kind of massive change. We've called it in on some level. The old way isn't working anymore. The old human isn't working anymore. Greg Braden has a whole new book, A New Human. I mean, the language that's coming into our everyday living is wild if you haven't been a part of it. So you guys have. This is good news. You've been a part of a spiritual community. You've been a part of spiritual philosophies. You've done your own work. You're still doing your own work. And yet, how many people have had moments where they feel that resistance come up to what's happening? Yeah, I'm sure all of us. How many people have had some concern and fear come up about the uncertainty of not knowing what's happening? Absolutely. And so what I've tried to do with the Adam Center is to help them have more than one plan, more than one idea about how to do this so that you're not locked into, we gotta have a fill in the blank. Now, of course, we're affirming and knowing that the perfect home is revealing itself. And we have to be prepared that that might not happen in a timeline that is being imposed upon you all, which is the end of May. So that's why we're talking about taking the events, which are the pillars of the Adam Center, Sunday nights, full moon meditation, new moon meditation, and meditation, the 4 Adam Center hosted events. Now we're at this point where we're going, okay, we're being pushed out of the shell. We're being pushed out of, not pushed out of the cocoon, we're in the cocoon right now. But let me tell you something about the cocoon, because this is super important information. We know the caterpillar. We know the butterfly. But we don't know what the hell is happening in that cocoon, and we don't like it. It's dark, it's crowded, it's sticky, we can't see anything. Nobody likes the cocoon, which is unfortunate, because the cocoon is where it's at. The cocoon is the most sacred place. The butterfly, the caterpillar is dragging its belly around on the floor. We know what that's like. If you're resisting change, you're dragging your belly along the floor of the 3D situation that we're in right now. The butterfly, oh, we all love the butterfly. Look how beautiful the butterfly is. But the cocoon, what about transformation? What about the cocoon? The Adam Center is in a cocoon right now. Are you running or are you leaning in? Are you afraid or do you see the seeds of growth that are in this moment right here and right now? It's not a judgment call. It's just an observation. So you can check in and see, well, how am I allowing my mind to present this to me? Is that really how I want my mind to present this moment to me? Is there another way my heart is perceiving this information? And might that be more in alignment with how I want to feel and how I want to be a part of this community? This is a powerful, sacred moment. What can the Adam Center envision itself in becoming next? I think that this moment right now for spiritual communities all over the world is a massive, massive opportunity for outreach. People are looking for connection. People are looking for community. And people are looking for ritual to anchor them so that when they go back out into the world that's going like this, that maybe they, we, you, I can be like this. We could be the eye and not the storm. We can have a place that we've been to that we know we can return to when we get spun out. I get spun out. How do you not get spun out? It's wild. We've never been here before. I mean, one of the things I think is so amazing, we are alive at a time when a 30,000-year cycle is coming to an end. Now, seriously, really? Who are all of you that you've said, yeah, I'll show up for that moment? Are you really giving yourselves the opportunity to find that inner power and step into it and activate it as a sense of who you are? That's amazing to me. Things are happening astrologically that haven't happened in 200 years. Wow. There's a planetary pileup happening on the 29th, where all but a couple of planets are all in the same sign. It's in the heavens. This is a destined moment of change. Now, it may not be happening the way we like it, but it is happening. So what are we going to do about it? The opportunity for each one of you is to realize what you're a part of. Too often in the spiritual, non-religious church environments, we have a very loose relationship to it. I'm going to go, I'm not going to go, I'm going to tithe, I'm not going to tithe, I'm going to pay. And that's okay. However, it's an old design model. That's why I spend some time talking about scookums. That's why when Todd comes over and does his bowls, same thing, time and talent. What's our mind saying? We should get it for free, we shouldn't have to pay. How many people, you don't have to raise your hands, when Louis was talking about a fee for the full moon event, the mind was like, fee? Why should I pay? I've been paying nothing all this time. Yeah, wow, lucky, incredible. And I don't even care about the rental. What I care about is the person who's packing up the bowls, coming out, preparing all day long, creating an atmosphere in their heart so they can be in service to the community, brings his skills and talents, packs everything up and goes home. That's called an artist, a sound practitioner. These people deserve to be financially sourced. In the old design model, it's not valued. In the new design model, it is. It is. That's why every time I do an event, I'm always for paying the artist. No matter the quantity, it's the act, it's the gesture. It's the gesture of acknowledgement that says, oh yeah, we're going to practice what we preach. We believe in a source that's coming through us. We believe that source is unbounded and inexhaustible. We believe it's coming through us, it's in us, and we're going to give it out. And as we give it out, it comes back to us. Aren't these some of the metaphysical teachings that we stand for here at the Adams Center and the other communities? The law of reciprocity, the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect. You know, I always like to use the seed, the soil, and the plant. When we talk about this thing, God, whatever your word is, I'm amazed at this intelligence. This is an intelligence that knew the rose. It knew the rose. But for the sheer enjoyment of bearing witness to the unfoldment and the emergence of the outcome, it said, I'm going to take that rose and pack it into a bud. Then I'm going to pack it into a seed. And then I'm going to be the soil and all the nutrients that that seed needs for its optimal growth. And then I'm going to be the invisible laws that we cannot see that's going to crack open that seed and draw forth the bloom. What? Really? Wow. And we get to be the co-creator with that intelligence that knows all because it is all? Wow. That means that that intelligence knows the next bloom of the Adams Center. Now, do you think that's a constrictive bloom or a bigger bloom? I'll tell you, it's a bigger bloom or it's a constrictive bloom. Why? Because you get to choose. You get to choose. You want to go out in this community and start lighting people up because you're lit up and you're going to move beyond the confines of a building? Wow. Can't imagine a moment when people need it more. If we get too attached to what you need, then you miss the opportunity to feel into what your heart might be needing you to do. I don't want to see this community collapse on one thing. Of course a home would be beautiful. We're affirming that one is going to be there. And do you need it to go out there and do your big work in the world? No, you don't. No, you don't. It would be wonderful to hook up with another entity that's already paying for a monthly gig and is wondering how they're going to meet their rent and what's coming. Collaboration, community, going out there and connecting with other sound practitioners. I've talked to Dave and I talked to Todd about my friend Gail, who's a sound healer, and they know her, we know her. Do you feel what I'm saying? A larger opportunity. So to the degree that everybody is so uncomfortable in the cocoon of not knowing, and how the mind says, let's leave this community. They don't know. We can't hang out with people that don't know. We need to know. We come to our spiritual community to recreate the family in large part that we didn't have. And so this can be triggering all sorts of stuff. However, what a time to lean in. What a time to lean in and go, wow. You mean I have the opportunity to help a spiritual community go where it's never gone before so we can be in service to humanity at a time when it most needs it? Really? Wow, I have the opportunity to talk to people I know who are struggling and seeking connection and letting them know about a full moon event, a drumming new moon event, reactivating the importance of ancient ritual to ground us to Mother Earth, to ourselves, to each other. You see how many of these things are happening now in town? Yoga studios, wherever it all is. Why? We crave it. Because we don't know what the hell is happening here. And so what do we need to do? We need to ground into something we can know. And what do we know? We know the power of ritual. But don't forget something that's so important. The human mind can only tell us what is happening. We already know by the tire example that if you've got filters in front, it's going to take what's neutral and tell you what's happening based on the filter. Based on the filter. It may not even be accurate, but it's accurate because it's come through a filter that's telling you what this thing is. So it can tell us what is happening. It can tell us what has happened. But it doesn't have the capacity. The human mind is not designed to be able to tell us what's coming. It's not necessarily designed to help us know what are the potentials, what are the possibilities, because there are limitless possibilities and potentials right now. So how do we do this? Super simple. One question. How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel when I come to a spiritual community? How do I want that spiritual community to feel? The second most important question, what is mine to do? I want to invite everybody today, no matter how long you've been around the Adam Center, to ask yourself that question. What is mine to do? And listen, and then be open to doing the very thing that you're called to do. Because when you have a trusting relationship with your source, even though the mind may question and say, that's the stupidest thing and we're not doing it, the heart overrides it and says, yes, we are. Because we're living now from a place of, how do I want to feel? This is an amazing story. I worked a job last night. The person I worked with was telling me that she had a feeling several days ago that this was not going to go well and she shouldn't really take the gig. She took it anyway. Not a good night last night. So many things happened. Talk about the retrogrades. The entire system we were using nationwide went down.
Whoa.
Couldn't take any orders or anything like that. It was one of those S shows. And yet, here I was in this beautiful position to talk to this younger woman about the power of her heart that knew something that her mind could not yet know. Because she was so upset, saying, I shouldn't have. I said, oh yeah, you should have, because you needed one more time to know for sure that you can trust your heart. You needed one more time to know that you got something that has the capacity to go out ahead of you into something that you can't personally see, and then come back and give you information so that you can make decisions that align you with how you want to feel and what is yours to do. So let's take a moment and imagine two scenarios. One scenario is that tomorrow the Adam Center finds a place that it can afford. Why? Because it has people in the community that are members or regular tithers financially supporting what they believe in. That's an up-leveling. You have the laity, you have the members or the tithers, right? You have the board, all different layers of involvement. We find another beautiful place, we'll move everything over there, and we have a lateral move. Oh, big sigh of relief. Oh, thank goodness we have a spiritual home. Scenario 2, we're still looking. Now the mind is going to do what? Look at the calendar. Look at the calendar. Look at how many days. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know what that's called? Stress. What's helpful during those moments when your mind is doing that? Breathe. Hand on the heart. Breathe. I know. I know you keep looking at the calendar. Yep, I know it's telling us we have X amount of days, and we got this. You know what that's called? Self-compassion, self-love. That you're recognizing that something within you is having a really tough time. Instead of dismissing it and separating yourself from it and not owning it, you put your hand on your heart like you would a kid. You bring compassion to yourself. What happens when you do that? Self-love. Also, though, you're not it. It's happening in you. You're having the experience of it. But your ability to bring self-love and compassion to your discomfort helps separate you from it so that you have a realization of, I'm not it. I'm experiencing it, but there's something beyond that it that is allowing me to bring compassion to it. Second scenario, the Adam Center has all of you and others. We're in. What are we here to do? How can I help? Third great question. How do I want to feel? What's mine to do? How can I help? What a gorgeous question right now. We got a sign-up sheet. If you're inspired, put your name down. There's a lot of work that has to happen. There's a lot that has to happen. And we're going to get it done because it has to get done. It would be great to have as many people as possible because it's a large task. I've also encouraged the board to make sure they have at least 2 community events. One to process. One to process the grief and the loss. This is a big deal. You've been here a long time, and it's tender. And this taps into perhaps other grief and loss that is still active or hasn't fully been healed yet. There's something about leaving a home, not knowing, nomad, being uncertain. You see how all this can really trigger personal and collective stuff? So we need ritual to honor what is happening, so that the community can come together, they can grieve, they can share the talking stick, talk about what was meaningful and beautiful here, what they're going to miss. Honor this moment. It's important to create a space for the community to process this so that we leave it here. And so that from there we can honor and be grateful and have the second kind of event, which would be more celebratory, to give thanks, to be in control, to have dominion over how you're going to feel about this and how you're going to have a mindful, sacred ending. This change may be imposed upon you, but what you do with it and how you ritualize it is yours to do, and I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to do it more than anything. Make sure you have ritual for the community. This is a big change. The other thing I know for sure is that people like to know, the mind likes to know what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. So we're doing our best now to come back to the community and to share with you what is going on. So the second scenario is, imagine that we haven't yet found a place, but we realize that our events are doable in rentable locations. And we're going. We're going to act proactively, as the board and others have been doing, looking for spaces. Okay, what about here? What about here? What about this? You have to test to know. Todd just took his gifts and talents over to the east side of town for the recent equinox. He stepped out on faith. Something called him and said, we got to do more. We got to get this out beyond this experience at the Adam Center, which he loves doing, but he got called. He wrote the check, he rented the place, walked out on faith, showed up. That's all you can do. Open the doors and show up. And it takes some time. Or not. It just depends what the consciousness is and what the environment is that has been created. People need community right now. And in this second scenario, the Adam Center is taking their events to more generic locations, not needing people to come to us, but realizing, we can go to them. We can go into the community and set up our vibrational frequency and see what happens. We can take it over here. We can take it over there. We can do it over here and see what happens. Because if you can be of service to a larger group of people by stepping out of your comfort zone and being willing to walk towards what you can't see, but you know it's calling you, wow! Woo! That's bold. That's courageous. That's awesome. You'll be able to look back and say, we gave it everything we had. That's the thing. To look back in 3 months, 6 months, the end of the year, did we give it everything we had? We knew the shit was hitting the fan. We knew the stuff was crumbling. We knew people were suffering. We knew people needed help. We knew people needed connection and community. Did we get out of our fear and step all the way into what we couldn't see so we could be a channel for the thing we believe in to use us to create connection and community in ways that we have never experienced ourselves doing before? To me, that's what's calling my name. That's what's calling my name. I mean, I have that program called The New Design for Living, reimagining how we live, love, and treat each other. Because nothing is outside of the change that's happening. You put stuff in a blender, it all goes. Even the stuff that sticks to the side, what do? We get the spoon, we push it out, and away we go. So Spirit said to me, hey, remember in the New Design for Living, I told you it was going from global to local? Yeah. Well, guess what? What? I want you to go on KONR radio. What? KONR radio? You mean the radio station nobody listens to? You mean the public radio station that's got yeah, that one. Really? I just got these awards. You want me to go back to the beginning? Uh-huh. Okay. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not getting paid for that experience in finances, but I'm getting paid in other ways. Because what I understood eventually was by that small gesture, by pushing past the fear and my mind's resistance, because it had all these reasons why that was a stupid thing to do, I realized, oh my gosh, in doing that, I'm creating the atmosphere for that thing I cannot see to get in there and do some work. And that is powerful. That is powerful. That when you take that leap of faith, when you take that step, there's the breadcrumb. It's right there. What am I going to do? Am I going to go this way? Am I going to go this way? Or am I going to go this way? And you go this way. You take the step. KONR radio. Then what happens next? Another breadcrumb. Why? Because you're in partnership with something that's awake, aware, and alive. It's not going to force itself on you, but it's going to give you all sorts of opportunities to work with it and be in partnership with it. And that's the opportunity that the Atom Center has. So I want to encourage you to lean into this community and to be mindful of your mind's narrative about this moment. And to use it not only as an opportunity to be of service to the community, but it's going to help you. I've done a lot of research with people because we all want younger people. Well, okay, but do they want us? You know, do they want us? I don't know. Doesn't seem like it. Why? Things have changed. Sunday mornings are not necessarily the time that people want to come out to something unless you're in a church experience. You can turn on the internet and get inspired without having to ever leave your home. So spiritual communities have some big work to provide an atmosphere that's different than what people can have at home. And what's the atmosphere? Community, connection. You got something special here. And just because the way it has been is ending, it doesn't mean you can't create a new container to hold a greater version. It's the same thing we're going through personally. How many of us, I mean, come on. It's an accident that this is the year of the snake. Hello? Shedding our skin. Hello? The signs are everywhere. But the mind goes, oh my God, I can't believe this. Well, okay. I love you. I know you can't believe this. I know you're struggling because you can't see what's coming. But I got this. See, in the new design model, and then I'll wrap up with this. This is the most challenging part, I believe. In the old design model, here are the instructions. Follow these instructions and you will have an outcome. Oh, so glad, outer authority, that you're able to give me the instructions and promise me this outcome. That's over. For two reasons. One, it's over. And two, who would want the outer world now informing you about what the right thing to do is? And so what do? We go in, and then we go, uh-oh, haven't spent a whole lot of time here, uh-oh. Doesn't have to take a long time. This thing is right here, right now, waiting. Turn towards it, it'll turn right back towards you. And guess what? It'll speak in a language that you can understand. The old design model is like, oh yeah, this thing is going to set us up and then pull the rug out from underneath us. Or yeah, this thing is going to set us up and then talk to us in a language we don't understand. It's ridiculous. In the new design model, it speaks to us in a language that we understand. So that means you'll always know that it's speaking to and through you because you hear it, you know? So the part that I think is challenging is we don't have the instructions from outside. We have the instructions coming from the inside. That's why it's super important to be tuned in right now and to really spend some time with yourself. I mean, if anybody saw what I did at night, I would truly be in a straitjacket. I would be, the old design model would say, crazy. The amount of time I spend at home at night, talking to myself, processing this stuff. I know, it's like, oh, Camille, she's the only one that curses. Why? Sometimes I just get fired up about all this stuff. So this is important stuff. It's not going to come from outside. And that's what's so challenging about the new design model. It's coming from within. And so that helps us understand, okay, where am I in separation from myself? What do I got to heal? What do I got to shed? You know, this idea that we have this full moon lunar eclipse that just happened, and we have this big solar eclipse that's going to happen, so much of it in Aries, I am, and this idea of a portal. And I realized the other night, it was a very emotional experience, because I realized that in order to walk through, you have to walk away. In order to walk through, you have to walk away. In order to walk towards something, you have to walk away from something. I mean, you can drag it, but man, that's exhausting. And that's the moment we're at right now. It's big. Oh, it's big. Don't get me wrong. It's big. And we can do this. What did Joan of Arc say? I am not afraid. I was born for this. You were born for this. Do you believe it? Are you able to walk towards? Go walk through the portal of what has been and what is coming. The new era, the new earth, all this stuff we've been talking about. Uh-oh, here it is. How are we going to show up for it? So in this other design model, the Atom Center is out there. Todd's got his little team of people. They're committed. They love the full moon. They're helping him unload. They're helping him set up. They're helping him pack up. Somebody else is helping putting out flyers. Somebody else is going to be the person at the door welcoming people, collecting the money, feeling good about collecting the money. Why? Because we know what they're going to experience. It's a value. Doesn't mean the community can't do pro bono stuff and give stuff away. Of course you can. But it's also okay to charge a fee. Why? Because you're creating an experience for somebody. You're doing all the work for them. They come in, they have the experience, they're changed, and they leave. Right? The new moon meditation. Dave's got his little team of people helping him set up the drums, meeting people at the door. This is the opportunity, the meditation that Bobby and Louie do. I love meditation. I want to be on that team. And there you all go. Independent adults bringing the vibe and the sound and the healing to all these different places in the community. Wow. So this is the process we've been in. We're going to wrap some things up today. We're going to bring a closure to at least my work and the work I've been assigned to do this month. We'll see what happens next. And if you're interested in not just the move, but you're also interested in helping go out, please let us know. We'll get your name on another piece of paper. Okay? So I think with a talk like this, it's really, really important to take a couple of deep breaths Really experience that exhale. Let it out. Shake your shoulders a little bit. You're all going to take what's yours to take. You don't have to take all of it. Just be mindful of what your heart loves, what your mind is resisting. And let's open it up to comments and questions and even concerns if you have them. And let's see what we might be talking about. And here's the thing. This is a safe space. We don't talk over people. We don't comment on people's comments. We're simply here to share and have the experience of being heard. Okay? Something was over here. Marie?
Yeah, I wanted to see if anyone would be interested in assisting in cataloging the books. So
Yeah.
it started, and it's so much easier. Somebody's grabbing the books. I mean, I'm a pretty good typist, and I can't sit and talk. It's a Toastmaster thing.
And I want to take a moment to acknowledge, though I didn't know you were involved, I know that Phil has been involved.
Oh my
And
God.
he has spent countless
Yes.
hours. Why? Because it was his to do. And so he sits there and does this work putting all the books into the computer. And Marie, you're doing it too.
I picked up on
So great.
where he left off and starting into the other rooms and formatting and that sort of thing. And anyways, it'd be really helpful to have somebody who is willing to come over at the same time and, we set up a thing. And pick up the books, bring them in, take them back, bring up the next set, whatever. Anyways, that's the idea.
Okay, so if you're inspired by that, if you're feeling called, see Marie before you leave today.
Are you guys using an app? Because they make apps that you can scan the books and automatically put them.
That would be lovely.
There you go.
But
We're not.
so we
We
can
should.
talk.
It's
Great.
They've got
It's on an
It's like
ancient
17
machine.
now.
it's on ancient Dell machine, but 3,500 books have already been cataloged.
Beautiful.
So
Okay.
it's a big system and it's going well.
And they need help. And there may be a faster way to do it. So you guys should collaborate and talk. Thanks. Yeah.
I actually would be kind of like to hear from Todd as to how his experience went
Okay.
with that. That's my own.
You mean the experience that he just had?
Yeah.
Okay.
How that went. I was curious.
Well, it was really cool. We had a dozen people actually show up, and a little bit bigger room than this one. And what was interesting about it was they were people that had either I hadn't seen in years, or they were from someplace else. It was very, very interesting. And so it was, and the other thing was we learned a lot about acoustics.
Yeah.
The room was like, you probably wouldn't like it, Skookums, because the walls just all the music it just bounces. It's an echo chamber,
Nice.
So musicians really don't care for that,
Mhm.
but it worked well with the bowls and the dogs. And
Good
stuff
for
like
you.
that.
So
Yeah.
proud of you. That's awesome.
So how did you attract people? How did they know? How did you advertise?
Well, I did a little post on Facebook, which I don't know how to use. I just kind of, copied and pasted and put something on there. And I've got the postcards up here and there,
And you
word of
emailed-
mouth.
Emailed some friends.
I emailed some friends.
Great.
Only
All
about
friends.
35 people
Nice.
I sent emails to.
You
Yeah.
advertised at
So
the
it wasn't
whole
massive.
Life Festival too.
Okay. So you advertise at the whole
Oh,
life
that's
festival.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's right.
there you go.
Beautiful. Any other comments, questions, concerns about everything we've talked about?
I just
That's
shared
something.
with Todd that I need to get on his list because I didn't know it was happening. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm on his list now. But yeah, you need more people on your list because what you
Okay.
do is awesome.
All right.
Nice.
We'll make it happen.
Awesome.
Okay, come on, I want to hear from
I
you.
just
Hold on,
want
Marie.
to
Is there
thank
something?
you
Oh.
for being and helping
Yeah.
do all this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was definitely interesting. Comments, questions, concerns? I'm sure there's something rumbling around.
My huge
How
comment
many?
this morning is that's probably one of the most outstanding speeches I've ever witnessed.
Oh,
this
really?
morning.
Okay,
So,
good. Well, thank you.
man, you hit it on the nail.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
moving shortly and we'll be gone until October, and so much of what you said applies to everything we're going through. We're being uprooted, we're going away.
Mhm.
Whoa, and I just appreciate so much. I've told you this before, when you speak, it really resonates. Your ability and the tone that, no, really, the tone that you use,
Great.
right to me personally.
Wonderful.
I
I'm so
just
glad.
can't thank you enough.
I'm so glad you got a bunch of stuff now that you can
it's
unpack.
wonderful. Well, it just applies
Yeah.
to so many aspects
Mhm.
of our daily lives, whether it's a big thing or a little thing. It's just a beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful sharing that
I
you've
appreciate
given us.
that. Yeah. Yeah. And
One thing everyone can do is hold the consciousness. Now, I've told people that's one of the things that I do,
mhm.
is I'm holding the consciousness. And they say, how is that gonna turn into action? I don't know how it's gonna
Mhm.
turn
Every
into
breath you
action.
take, that's how
Yeah,
true
but-
you are.
If I am called to action, I will go immediately. And everybody can do that, and it's so important because there's a funnel, there's all the divine energy up there, all the angels and saints are waiting to be asked.
Yeah.
They cannot come without our permission. That is a divine law. So to stir that up, you say, oh, you mean you're just sitting at home in the morning praying about a new place?
Well,
to
that's
act?
the old design model. Let's be clear.
Okay.
So in the old design model, that's not valued.
Yeah.
But we're not living there anymore.
No.
We're
so
over here.
Open up and let it flow.
And we understand that. I mean, Mari and I and another friend of ours, every Monday for 3 or 4 or 5 years now, we've been doing this Monday night meditation. And we understand, as you all do, the atmosphere and the importance of the atmosphere. I mean, when I've done consultation work with other boards and leadership, the most important thing I tell them is, how are you thinking about this? What's the consciousness that you're holding? What's the so thank you for that. That's a reminder that when you guys are thinking about the Atom Center, who's thinking? The mind or the heart? The fear or the excitement? And get into that atmosphere of, oh my gosh, something wonderful is about to unfold. Thank you. That's awesome. Anybody else? Anything going on over here? What's happening over here?
Just one more. I wanted to honor the fact that you just bringing it right out there and giving us the space to sit with our discomfort
Yes.
and be real with it.
Mm-hmm. That is the skill of the day. If you can practice being more comfortable with your discomfort, wow, this is super uncomfortable right now. I don't like anything that's happening and not happening, and I'm okay with that. You feel that? You feel the difference? Wow, it's kind of scary. What the hell is going to happen? This is really uncertain. And I'm okay with that. I got this. So thank you for reminding us that the skill of the day is being more comfortable sitting in the discomfort of not knowing. Don't rush out of uncertainty. It's the fertile field. You want to know where all the answers are? In the space between knowing and not knowing. Uncertainty is where it's at. You don't know? Oh my gosh, guess what? You forgot a word. Yet. You don't know yet. You don't know means something is being withheld. You don't know yet means it just hasn't come into view. But you know it's there and you're holding the atmosphere for it. Yet. Yeah. Dave.
Wise Kahuna saying,
Mm.
I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. Here we go.
Nice. I love that. I love that. I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. Here we go. All right. Anybody else?
And how do we do that? We improvise, we adapt, and we overcome.
Yeah. I mean, you got some wisdom at the top of the board here. I mean, you know, people are like, oh, you're old. Well, guess what? We're wise. We're wise. We've been around a long time. We've seen a lot. The older you are, the wiser you are. We can't be fooled so easily. I want to really care about the young people that are freaking out. Go talk to a young person. You go get a coffee at Pilates, ask them how they're doing, and then ask them again. Because guess what? They're very nervous. They're very concerned. We have an obligation to them. I believe I have an obligation to them. I'm 62. I've been around. These young people, what's our obligation to them? How are we showing up for them? Are we all in our own freak out that we're not going, oh my gosh, we need to bring all of our events out into the community so that these young people can get centered in the center of who they are. They can have an experience that they have that so that they go back to school. Hello, that's it. You can't get young people. You can't get anything. I can't get anybody to listen to my radio show. I can only show up for it and do the best we can. Yeah, young people, forget about getting them. Let's get into service to them because they need it right now. Anybody else? I know I keep doing this. Everybody okay over here? Any other comments, questions, suggestions? Okay, we're going to close. I want everybody to take a deep breath. Skookums, can you give us a moment here? Okay, so what I'm going to do to close, shortness of breath. Shortness of breath is when the breath only comes into the upper chest. It's a short journey from the nose to the chest. The thing about breathing, it's one of the only bodily functions we really can control if you think about it. And that's another great gift from the Creator, because when you learn to slow down your breathing, you calm your nervous system, you shut the door on all those hormones that are not supposed to be running 24/7, and they are. Put your hand on your belly, not to criticize it, but to honor that it's the place where you can feel your breath when it makes its way all the way down past the lungs. And so because of my background, I am going to take this moment to consciously arrange some words to close our time together today. So I want to give thanks that I have had this opportunity to be in community with this beautiful group of people. And I want to give thanks for the information that has come through all of us today that has activated us and has set us on our path. I want to give thanks for everyone who attended today because they know on some level they were called to be here. I want to give thanks for the questions. How do I want to feel? What is mine to do? And how can I help? I give thanks for everything that has been released today, for the skin that has been shed today. Because we believe in timelessness. It doesn't have to take time. It's happening right now. We've shed some skin today. We've let go of some heavy baggage today. We're giving ourselves permission to step into something lighter and lively. We're giving ourselves permission to feel better than the headlines dictate. We're giving ourselves permission to design our own lives based on our new set of values and principles upon which we want to live. We may walk alone. Often we do. However, when we look to the right and to the left, there we all are, walking together towards something that we cannot see, but we hear it. We see it. Most importantly, we feel it. This is the most powerful moment in human time. We are awakening to the inner architect. We are realizing the power lies within, and it's a power for good. And so I send a mighty blessing upon this community. I know that something beautiful is seeking to emerge. I know that the butterfly that is being prepared in this tight cocoon is going to fly in ways that it has never before. I give thanks to Dawn and all the members on the board, all of those who are in service. We send some love and light to our own selves first. We think about the people who are on our minds today. We send some out to them. We know that love is energy. It's not bound by action. It's bound by intention. And we are ready to receive the highest outcome for the Atom Center. We are not afraid. We were born for this moment. And how great it is to know it, to feel it, to sense it, and allow for it. And so it is. Namaste.
So it is.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.